Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. Loads of stuff to dive into today. The OpTic guys outlining their new process for conducting fines within their organisation. Dashy seemingly though on his best behaviour the last couple of days, but also Auto's tax sprint not just being banned by the pro players, but apparently by the CDL itself. However, some pros continue to use it. Very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, hitting the like button is the best thing you can do to help this channel reach more people. Please consider subscribing as well if you haven't already. Firstly, there's some Dashy. I mean, honestly, his like automaton class, I'm not exactly sure what it is. I'm sure what maybe Mack will put it on the breaking point well, whatever in the coming days. And you can probably find it in his stream if you go and like type in you know, auto or whatever in the chat, like !auto. You know how it is. But this gun seems to shred very quickly indeed. Interestingly enough, only 25 bullet mags seemingly are allowed right now. There is a 45 bullet mag on this, and that's the thing. In respawns, you might think the 25 bullets isn't quite enough given how quick it fires, but it really seems to be a go-to, especially in search and destroy. And that's been one of my question marks. Could we potentially see a 3-weapon meta this year when we've got an SGG, of course, which is kind of the main AR for the range? The MP40 is certainly going to be used, and then of course you've got the auto, which maybe is this kind of great flex weapon, which of course Dashy's going to be great with. This kind of all-purpose weapon Dashy's already great with. Of course, though in general he is the main AR of this team now, so maybe you'd think you need to use the SGG a bit more. But on certain maps, for example, on Bocage right here, like having great success with the auto. So I guess we'll see how that one goes over time. This also I wanted to mention though, because there was some discussion about this yesterday, that well, Vanguard was the worst launch in Call of Duty history in the UK at the very least in 14 years, since all the way back in Modern Warfare 1, which is pretty remarkable. Now, you know, it's kind of interesting to hear about, frankly. I do wonder if this is kind of sparked by the fact that, yeah, most people in the casual side play Warzone, so why would they really need to buy Vanguard? They'll just wait, you know, for Warzone to become free, right, and they'll play that instead. Like, they'll get their Call of Duty fix by just playing Warzone for free when it gets the Vanguard integration, and probably continuing to play it now, rather than actually buying the title itself. So it's probably not going to affect Activision's bottom line too much, because they're still going to be rinsing all the microtransactions from the Warzone side, but it is interesting to see some of the follow-ons. I do wonder here, like as Crone says, a kind of funny tweet, it's because of squad spawns, the maps, no trophies, 20 damage studs and 10 attachment guns. You know, if you fix that stuff, then everyone will start buying the game again. I see kind of how this goes. Of course, on the surface, this doesn't look like a good thing, but one way you could look at this is say, well, look, a lot of the casual players are not getting this game anymore, and they're just, you know, they're playing Warzone. That's like a very casual, well, that's the most casual thing you can play in Call of Duty right now, I would imagine, is playing Warzone. Therefore, the people who actually are buying the game and playing multiplayer are generally the more competitive, you know, more like, you know, top tier casual type players. In general, like, you're getting more of those players playing the game. Therefore, maybe Activision think, okay, Warzone is our kind of casual side of Call of Duty. The actual multiplayer game itself should be a little bit more competitive focused, as with other titles Counter-Strike have done, where the majority of the game, despite you know, having an awful lot of players, is generally competitive focused. So maybe there's more focus in the future on ranked play and competitive and stuff like this. And well, Warzone actually becomes more of the casual side, and the actual multiplayer game that you know, whatever, becomes more competitive. So I don't know, that's probably optimistic thinking, but that might be part of what we're seeing going on at the present time. This then from the OpTic Texas side I thought was kind of entertaining. A new process for fines that Rambo outlined. So effectively what happens, if a player gets fined, and there was some talk between Hex and Rambo, I'm pretty sure one of Hex's vlogs a couple of days ago, that if anyone needs to get fined for turning up late to scrims or whatever, then well, Rambo is definitely going to be dishing them out, and Hex is going to be delivering the fines. Now, yeah, where does that money actually go, right? If the players get fined a couple of grand, 500 quid or whatever the case might be, where does that money go? Rambo outlines that actually it's going to go into a pot, and then all that pot money effectively goes towards, like, well, buying food when they go to a restaurant or something. So, well, as Scump says, you know, I'm not going to be late, I'm going to be getting the steaks, I'm going to be getting the scallops coming in, and well, so if Brandon wants to be late for a scrim, I thought it was kind of funny from Rambo saying, you know, if Dashy wants to be late for a scrim, then he's going to buy everyone that, you know, the Wagyu steaks, right? So, you know, and Dashy's like, you know, why is this being directed at me? But, yeah, maybe for good reason, who really knows.
Let me talk. Everyone that gets fined this year, the fine money doesn't just go to Hector or Stro, it goes in a group pot where we use that money to go out and eat. So you're basically buying other people food.
Yeah.
At least a first offender. Like, and we go out.
I know that I'm not gonna be late, so I'm getting steaks. I'm getting scallops.
So if Brandy wants to go to bed at 5 a.m. and be late for a scrim, you know, all right, it's Brandon's buying Wagyu for everyone. You know what I'm saying? Like,
why is this directed at me?
I thought it was kind of funny that Dashy's mother actually comes out of the timeline and says, yeah, you rock Rambo. I know my boy is in great hands. Like, yeah, you might be finding him, but for good reason. Like, you know, get this guy in gear. And I think it's going to be key this season, right? Because there's been a lot of talk about Dashy and his play style, but also like work ethic, these type of things the last couple of days. I think Rambo and this kind of culture within the team team is probably going to have a big impact on that. And, well, especially with some of the issues also we talked about slightly earlier today. This also from Illy, given we were talking about fines, I thought was kind of funny. I love squad spawns no troll because, well, that's the thing, right? Like, are these players going to get fined if they criticize the game too much by the league? And then Merc says, yeah, please write your first fine from the OpTic side, right, for this kind of blasphemy of saying that squad spawns are actually quite good. Don't know if Illy's being legitimate here. I imagine it's kind of bait. But, yeah, I thought it was kind of entertaining regardless. Of course, speaking of these, well, squad spawn, fine type situations, here's Dashy. OpTic scrims come up. I think he actually turned up pretty early to this one, so credit where credit is due. Now, of course, the other thing that Dashy was talking about yesterday was auto tac sprint in the game right now. This, as Spart says last night, is everyone using ATS? Every person's stream I watch, their movement looks godlike. Am I getting trolled? Now, supposedly in this game, it's relatively easy to see if someone's using it, if someone's not. Of course, like some players, the likes of Shotzzy, that have incredible movements, it's really difficult to tell if they're using it or not, because I'm pretty sure they can do, like, you know, the regular sprinting almost as if they were using ATS. But if you guys don't know what ATS is, auto tac sprint, effectively when you put your left stick forward, you just sprint off into the sunset like as fast as you possibly can without having to double tap it twice, right, to actually push it down twice to actually get the sprint and then the tactical sprint option enabled. Now, the pros effectively have decided the last couple of years that allowing players to use this reduces the skill gap, because it means that anyone who actually can, you know, let's say you want to hit a nasty slide cancel around a corner, like you actually have to double tap your left stick, then slide cancel, and then make that movement happen. Whereas if you got ATS, you just have to hold it forward and then go for the same movement, which definitely reduces the skill gap in a way that means that, you know, the better players that are good with the movement, they can't leverage that advantage to a great degree. Therefore, the pros in general want to get rid of it, but there has been a lot of talk this season so far, and even before this game even came out, that yeah, maybe we allow it this year. Seemingly, a lot of pro players are actually using it right now, and as Tashi says, the left stick is breaking and no troll, so well, he reckons he's not using it, but of course, other people are apparently using it, as Slasher says right here. Bunch of people still are, but apparently it's going to be restricted in settings for the CDL. So this is kind of interesting, right? For CDL matches, it's actually going to be disabled, so there's physically nothing you can do to turn it on, which honestly indicates quite some degree of competitive interest, right, from the Sledgehammer side, if they would enable some sort of setting like this. But as he continues to say, by the way, I didn't mean in CDL rules like in game, I meant the league restricting it or something on our accounts, so I don't know about challenges. That's really the big question mark right now. If if you're playing CDL settings, for example, in a game battles match or something, or I guess in ranked play in general, are those CDL settings going to disable auto tac sprint? That would be kind of strange, right? You don't really want someone who, let's say he's played Warzone for a while, he's just a pretty casual player, he comes in to play ranked play whenever it arrives, we don't really know when it's coming, and well, he hops in and he can't use his auto tac sprint, and for some reason it doesn't work, like he's going to be really confused. So of course, you don't really want it to be enabled or disabled, sorry, or disactivated in the CDL rules, because I think honestly, for a lot of more casual players and more casual competitive players, right, guys like myself, I suppose, and a lot of you guys who maybe hop on from time to time to play some ranked play, auto tac sprint is a great option because it extends the life of, well, your thumb, but also your controller. But for the pro side, they also, you know, they get a load of controllers sent to them all the time, like it's not so much of an issue. But for challenges as well, like if you're trying to get into challenges, like you might not have the most money in the world, you might have spent a lot of money to get this PC that you can compete on, you don't really want these controllers to be breaking because you're mashing your left stick playing 16 hours a day. So that's really the issue, right, when realistically, maybe it should be allowed in challenges and just restricted for the CDL. So maybe this is the way to do it, as Crone kind of, well, outlines right here. The league, it might be restricting it somehow within their accounts or something itself, which would be kind of impressive to do, but it also means that some of these pro players that are still apparently using it, like maybe it's time to stop, right, I don't know, because apparently it's going to get restricted eventually anyway, which is probably what Clayster was indicating and Crimsix were indicating when we looked at that just a few days ago. This I also wanted to look at because I thought it was hilarious. OpTic versus Methodz and Go, this was the first map they played yesterday on Bowcage, 251-22, but it wasn't about this itself, it was the very first map that Methodz has spawned in for scrims during a Vanguard hardpoint or whatever. They play against the OpTic guys, and Scump straight up assassinates him in the back, of Methodz reacts in a pretty entertaining manner.
It's headache, watch out. You one more there.
Zig, I just got assassinated, dude. There's no way. There is no way, dude.
Just wanted to mention this as well, as DeSoto pointed out from the flank a couple of days ago. We did talk about the OpTic Texas substitute, which apparently they're bringing in back in general, but well, the thoughts about the Challengers team is a bit of a question mark. Is it going to be happening with OpTic Texas? Will they go for a Challengers squad? Will they go for an Academy? Because well, Hex certainly wants OpTic to expand its wings beyond where it has been so far, like move into other esports, this type of stuff. Whether that means bringing in a Challengers team, bringing in an Academy, like some of the older rosters have done, I suppose we shall see. But right now he doesn't really believe it's been executed so well, and maybe he requires, well, he thinks it's going to need some changes and some tweaks and some upgrades before OpTic are actually going to get involved in challenges.
So I like it. I think there needs to be. I like the Wild West thing that's going on with the challengers. You never know. I mean, Tommy, you've been on the pre-show several times where General gives us the pit rundown.
Yeah,
of like,
Jordan's funny,
what.
dude. Yeah, he's funny, bro.
He's so funny. So yeah, I mean, I think there's something there. I think that we have a lot to offer when it comes to that, but at the same time, like we're doing so much already, right? Like I think that there needs to be a little more infrastructure that appears in the challengers division for us to help even more, right? Like that it's an underserved community. I think that there's a lot to happen there, but I don't think it's been executed well thus far.
Yeah.
Of course, the rumour has it General is going to be there with the substitute, so of course you could have an actual team around General, right, and have that as being your Challengers squad, your Academy squad, and see how that thing goes. And I feel like in general that would be a pretty good idea. General seems to be a guy that would be pretty good at bringing up and comers, and you could bring in a couple of guys and make things relatively interesting right down there. And some teams have tried it. Los Angeles Guerrillas, New York Subliners have tried out academies. I think maybe London were going to do one, but that didn't happen for whatever reason. So maybe it's something that could happen down the line, but seemingly not at the present time. And just to finish off with this, the Jig, like you points out, with Halo Infinite coming out, here's a potential leak of what the esports team skins could look like in the game. These honestly look pretty damn cool for Fnatic, for example, Sentinels, and yeah, I mean, if we get this type of stuff in Call of Duty, like it'd be so cool, Cloud9 FaZe, for example, like, I mean, yeah, it's just crazy. This stuff happens at launch, right? Like, can we not get this stuff in Call of Duty just, well, at least by the time that the CDL launches? That's all I ask for, but very much intrigued to your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, hitting the like button tells the YouTube gods this is a good video, and looks like you should see it as well, and help grow the competitive Call of Duty community. Thank you for watching as always, take care, and I will see you next time.